to sign your painting, you've come to the right place. In this video, I'm going to give you some tips on where to sign your painting to make it look great or make it more integrated, and certainly to make it recognizable as your work. We're going to start by talking about signing original works of art. I'm going to sign these ones while you're watching and talk about how I chose the position and the paint. And then we're going to talk about signing on prints, both digital prints as well as original prints. You want to be thinking mostly about it being archival. Let's get into it. The bottom right hand side does tend to be the very traditional place for signing your artworks. I sign my artworks all over the place. So for example, in this one I've signed it with an archival pen, the same pen that I made these drawing marks with, and I've hidden it in there because I thought that that would be an interesting thing to discover on your visual journey into this painting of the butterfly as you come up the orchids. This painting I've signed at the bottom. I spent a little while deciding which orientation I wanted the painting to go in. I liked it this way. I really felt that it should be displayed this way, and so I signed it to indicate I, the artist, the originator of this artwork, feel that it should be displayed this way. So there's a sister painting to this one, and that's this painting here. I haven't yet signed it, and that's because it could go this way. It could go this way. I quite like it that way. And if I decide in the end to exhibit them side by side, then I will sign this one down the bottom. But I also thought, oh, I could hold off on signing this one, because if someone comes along and says, hey, I really like this one, but I quite like it in a landscape format, I could sign it over here. I will do before I head off to the exhibition is turn it over, and I will sign it on the back. When I'm signing the back, I use the traditional printmaking method, which is to use a graphite pencil. That's the only traditional part about it, because I'm going to sign it. And when I say sign, I actually mean that I write my name. Because if someone sees this artwork and likes it and wants another one or wants to buy it, I need to know that this is my artwork. I need to always have my name somewhere on it. Yeah, a pencil can be removed, it can be erased, but it's also incredibly archivally sound. I'm going to put the date on it, 2023, and I'm also going to put the title on it, and that will help me when I start to photograph the work and advertise the work. I'll be being consistent about how what the name of the painting is. So this one, I'll put in inverted commas, is going to be Banksia with gold. Banksia with gold will do. This is a digital print, so it's on glossy paper, and I signed them in the traditional printmaking position, which is to sign it outside the image. Being a glossy paper, I needed something that was not going to smudge. Here's an example of where I've hidden my signature. I liked the painting. I felt it was possible that it was saleable, and if it's not saleable, sometimes I take them along just for students to have a look at, to talk about a method, and sometimes they like to take photos. So in that situation, I want my signature on it. I love this one. This is just using masking tape to create a border. I've signed it in the same watercolor paint that I was using at the time, and I've signed it just outside the border, but I could have signed it anywhere I wanted to. I signed it this time in blue. I felt that that really nicely carried the blue down there. It's quite small, but always legible. You can always tell that it says Marion Chapman, because if you're signing a painting, you want the person to know who you are so that they can find you. I do also have one of my original prints here. So this is a printmaking print. It's an original print, so there's nothing digital about this. It's all hand printed on a press. Traditional spot for my signature in pencil is the bottom right hand side. In the center is my title, Seeds, Leaves, Compost, and over here is the number of the edition or some information about the print. So this one, for example, I've put A/P, and that means artist proof. Here's an example of one where I've hidden my signature. This is part of a dragonfly series. I felt that the painting was incredibly busy. It's very dark over here, and I really liked this gold embellishment that I've put there. So I have signed my signature, curved it according to the curved line of the wing. And this means that the purchaser could frame it this way. They could frame it that way if they wanted to, because I felt this one had beautiful abstract elements too that meant that it could go in a range of ways. So I thought I'd finish off by just making the decision with you as you're watching about where to sign these ones. So I've just done a video on these 4 abstract paintings. They're completely dry, which is important for signing. They've got a really dark sections down the bottom, so this means that painting in anything other than white is never going to show up. I could paint my signature just below it to do it in the printmaking tradition, or I could get some white paint, like some white gouache, and paint it within the painting. And I do find that paintings like this are likely to be framed along with that frame there. So I think signing it down here would be a mistake, particularly because my paint bled under the tape here. So I have some Winsor & Newton white gouache. So Winsor & Newton is a quality brand, and that's going to be archivally sound. To sign it, I generally use this little tiny liner brush. It's a Richardson liner. Little bit of water on my brush, a little bit of massaging into the white paint. I like to get rid of the lumps, and I'm after that lovely consistency so that it will paint smoothly. I'm going to turn it on an angle. I'm a left-hander, and I'm going to be painting in that direction. Remove excess, and if I roll the brush like that, I will get the tip coming into that beautiful tip. Tight grip. Marion Chapman. So I take my time doing it. It really is rather dominating this landscape, but I really, in this example, don't mind at all that that lovely white is obvious that that's my signature. It is quite a small painting, however, so that's pretty big for, I think, for this size painting, given that this half sheet has a signature about the same, oh, it's a little bit bigger, this signature. I think that size actually fits nicely with this size, so I could try and do it in a smaller version. I'm going to go over to this one next. Now, there's this beautiful bit of turquoise over here, so I could come in with one of these lovely dark colours and paint it in lovely watery consistency, runny consistency, so that it, but thick enough so that it barely moves while I've got it on the side, slowly moving. I've got the tip regathered by rolling the brush on the side, and will I put it here or will that ruin the boat? That will ruin the boat. I think I'll put it over here, and I think I will attempt to sign it, but I'll try and do a smaller version. It's really quite hard to do a smaller version, I find, because it's a watercolor brush. Oops, reload, tiny brush, you have to reload. And each time I'm rolling the brush so I get that beautiful point back. But it's kind of a little more sketchy, so it's a little more integrated than that one was. This one will be a little different. Get rid of the gouache. I'm going to sign this one with a dark colour. I've still got all these beautiful colours on my palette over here, so I'm just going to re-wet the Moonglow, and into that Moonglow I've got some beautiful green just here. I'm going to sign it over here. Yeah, completely different look to the dark that's quite integrated to the white that's really quite stark. Integrated, stark. This one I think is the best because it's nicely integrated and the paint was a little bit sketchy. I think that went nicely too. I'm going to wash my brush because I'm so tempted at this moment to start re-adding bits and pieces to my paintings. Hopefully the signing of your painting indicates to yourself that you've stopped and you should stop fiddling. In summary, you can sign it any way you like, front or back. You can sign it small, you could do your signature, you could do your initials, you can do your whole name. But the two most important things are that you use an archivally sound paint or marker or pencil. Graphite pencil is naturally archivally sound. And the other thing that I recommend is that you think about whether you want your signature to pop or you want your signature to be integrated, and that is completely up to you. So thanks so much for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. See you on the next one. Bye.